Well, welcome to Strategy Works. Hi, I'm Melody Toon, and I am a digital marketing strategist with over 17 years experience working in corporate. I've worked with Fortune 100 and 500 companies, and I've also owned 100 websites. So I'm glad you joined me today. I'm joined today as well by my guest, Karen Olinsky. And Karen is a consultant, a marketing consultant as a former marketing executive for Fortune 100 and 500 companies. And she has over 20 years experience. Welcome, Karen.
Thank you, Melody. I'm so glad to be a part of tonight's discussion.
Well, today we're going to talk about execution, and it requires you getting your feet wet. So I had a discussion with my daughter, who also works for a Fortune 100 company in corporate, and we had a talk last week about why is it that, people have these great ideas and want to do these great things in life, but yet they never seem to get there. And her answer to me was because people don't execute. And I said, you're absolutely right. That is exactly what it is. People just don't execute. So I'm going to share a few slides with you here, and we're going to talk about this strategy and why it's so important. So Karen, what's your take on, execution? And I know, because you are definitely an executor.
It's funny when you said that most people don't execute. And as a marketer and as a graphic designer, that was part of it is a part of my DNA, but you're absolutely correct. A lot of people are afraid of not knowing where to begin. And it all, you need to put some work in trying to organize what it is that you're going to execute, because a lot of people get scared by the word strategy. Strategy is where you're going. It's like planning a vacation trip. You got to figure out where you're going to go. And then the execution is how you're going to get there and what you're going to do on that vacation. So you're absolutely right. You wouldn't go on vacation without planning and figuring out where you're going to go. So it's the same thing with your business, whether you're working personal on your business, you have a company, or if you are still in corporate, knowing what it is that you need to do to cross that finish line.
And that's really a great analogy with the vacation, because I think people can relate to that very well. And most people have planned a vacation at some point in their life. And, it's another great thing about the analogy of a vacation is you can get really excited about this. I think a lot of people dread when they're talking about business or, goals in your life that affect you so dramatically, right? I mean, planning a business is very, can be very stressful, and it shouldn't be.
You're absolutely right, Melody. And my own personal situation with that was I found it very daunting for myself to go and create a blog for myself. Now, The fact that I've worked Fortune 100, 500 companies, corporate, and for agencies, had no problem doing that. But when it was for myself, I just had a roadblock. And it wasn't until I started working with you and we started strategizing and having some brainstorming discussions that the light bulb went on and said, what's the block? And the thing is, I just needed to put pen to paper or fingers to the keypad and get going.
Exactly. It's just about diving in, and that's why I've labeled this slide diving in because the water is fine. So I think if you take a different attitude and approach to planning your life, your business, your online presence, especially as an entrepreneur, and you really focus on, actually having a good time doing it, like you're going on vacation, like this is going to be great. I think you need to just kind of dive in and understand that the water is fine. You have a great idea, then you have to decide, okay, what's the plan? That's where you start.
Exactly.
And as Karen was saying, she just recently started a blog, even though she's been in business for a long time. She's worked for businesses, and now she's contracting, so she's in business for herself. And she's also learned that a blog is a great strategy to bring that in to your business. And so really trying to stress this, that this is a great strategy and it's something you want to consider. And it's not that hard to do. You just need the tools and the techniques and the secrets on how to do that. So what I suggest you do first is, as a strategy, research your competition and make a plan. You just need a great plan and then you execute it. So you want to develop a solid plan. You need to decide how much time do you have to put into this, because a lot of people probably work on a full-time job. A lot of people work a full-time job and then plan to be in business for themselves over a certain amount of time. And so you have to decide how much time you have to spend on that, be realistic of how much effort and time you can put into it when you're developing this plan. So you want to be realistic with your goals. You want to be flexible, and you definitely want to plan for bumps in the road.
I'd like to say one piece about the plan for bumps, because I experienced it with technology, where sometimes actually it was over the weekend and I was going in to start working on my draft blog, and come to find out GoDaddy was doing a backup. So again, plan for the bumps. Was I going to go live? No, but just able to table it and then just work in Word until it came back up.
Yeah, right, Karen. And as you know as well, with me this week, I had some technical issues as well when I launched a program, a 6-week coaching program for helping people to build their businesses, their blogs, their online presence. And the program that I pushed out on the internet, the tool that I use called Lead Pages actually went down for the entire day. So here I sent out this email that I spent, a lot of time on, a lot of planning to get that just right with the links in it. And I push it out, and what happens, that the website was down to where if you click on this link, you got an error message. Mm-hmm. And, the least to say, it was embarrassing, but, you kind of have to work around that. And I did. I actually sent out another email afterwards. It said to those that had previewed the email that it was down. So you want to have plan B in case that happens, because technology is not perfect and you will run into those issues.
And thanks for sharing that. But I think I do recall that very clearly now, but I admire the way you handled it. It was like There's nothing I can do because the technology is out of your hands. And I've had that happen when I was on the corporate side of things, where we were forced, not so much forced, but we always had to have a contingency plan in place. So in the event that systems went down, how are we going to communicate to our audience and constituents? And that has happened. And you always have a plan B. And, you know, as long as you're open and direct and honest and just tell the truth as far as what happened, you know, your audience understands, because we're all people.
Exactly. So you want to have a step-by-step plan. That will help cut down on all the noise, because what happens when you come up with these really brilliant, great ideas that are running through your head? There's a lot of things that come up that's got to be done. That's where execution can be a problem, because there's so much noise. It's actually stifling. And so you want to do a step-by-step plan to help cut down on that noise. And one thing I recommend is like a daily planner, and that includes your personal and other commitments that show, you know, all on in a view, in a snapshot, what you've got going on that day, what you need to get done, and that's how you execute.
And just to build on that, Melody, it's something the way you even have the slide set up. And I was discussing this with in a group session where I provide coaching, and people don't remember things more than 3. And there's just the fact here, you're following the methodology that's, you have 3 things here. You want to create a timeline, the step-by-step, and I'm not going to say number 3 because you're going to announce that, but that's something that is doable. And to have a list that is the size of a grocery list every day isn't going to be advantageous either. So it's just to reiterate, creating your timeline and step by step is something that is doable, that you can achieve on a daily basis.
Exactly. And so, and then number 3 is to forecast, to research maybe case studies, and to see what they've done and where they're at and how long it took them to get there, and to see what the possibilities are so that you can set those goals so they become realistic. And then the other thing that I really want to stress on is to never give up. No matter how many bumps in the road that you hit, you know, how many times you have to start over. That's all part of being an entrepreneur, and you just need to make the commitment. You need to make a commitment and plan to hit a few bumps, see them as valuable lessons that help you in testing the waters. And that, I think that's what's been so great about my career, because that is something that we plan to do through the companies I worked in, was a lot of testing. So you're going to see it as you're going to plan a program, or you're going to push out something and it's not going to work out quite the way you expected it to. And you're not going to see that as a test, but that's exactly what you're doing. You're testing. If you've never done it before, it's a test. And so maybe if you approach it with that idea in mind, it gets a little bit easier to do that. You say, oh, well, that didn't work. Well, you know, what can I do now? And I'm a big person on plan A and plan B. I don't know about you, Karen, but I'm always either, if plan A doesn't work, I got a plan B ready to go.
Exactly. And that's, you know, for those people who are on the corporate end of things, who are going to do this on their own, that contingency plan, extremely important. And also too, about testing. I went through a product management certified course, and it's amazing that a lot of companies, well-known brands that you're aware of, like the Microsofts down to the small entrepreneur, beta testing can be up to 3 years, and then they'll launch. So this isn't something that's done overnight or in a week. This takes many, you know, like what Melody was saying, tests, but you're building, and it's not a mistake. Those are learnings, applied learnings. You're going to revise, and then you're going to go to market again, see what kind of traction you get. Your traction is going to be people opening your email or responding or downloading, or maybe not doing anything, which prompts you to say, I got to change something.
Exactly. So stay motivated. And one thing I recommend in getting motivated is the Ziglar Motivational Tips and Tools that are on my website, designworks.com. And there's a tab there with the Ziglar Motivational Tools. And, you know, there's DVDs, there's CDs to listen to in your car, you know, whatever you need that if you don't know who Ziglar is, look him up online, because he was a personal motivator. He helps salespeople to generate sales for their businesses. And so he was in business for 40 years, and I took his course and am a certified Ziglar Legacy Coach. So I am trained to help you stay motivated as well. So you want to focus on the end results. Don't forget to balance your life. It's really important, because I know you can get really wrapped up in the day-to-day business part of life, especially when it's your business, when you're the entrepreneur. You know, you feel like your life depends on it. But you have to remember that it's very important to create a balanced life, to create that energy in life that makes everything work well. Otherwise, you get too stressed out, too burnt out, and you won't work well. Use a planner to help you stay on track, connect with people who can help you, and swim with the whales. Be smart with your business. You know, they always say swim with the sharks. I say stay away from the sharks and swim with the whales. Swim with those that are like you, and you will create a magnificent business. Take one day at a time, and don't forget to have fun. So I consider this to be the year 2016, coming up on 2016, the year of the entrepreneur. I see a lot of people who are starting to get this idea of how digital technology can really ramp your business up. It's still very scary for a lot of people, but if you get the right person to help you, and if you go to my website, designworks.com, I have the essential marketing tools there. They have over 50 tips and tools. It's free, and it will help you to get your blog on, get your online presence, get your branding, and you'll learn techniques and tools that you won't have to figure out, that you'll actually be able to understand and be able to do this as well on your own. So I'm really glad that you joined us today. We are going to do these sessions every week at 5 p.m. Pacific time, at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Karen's on the East Coast. I'm on the West Coast, so it kind of works out well for us that time.
Except it's warmer here on the East Coast today than it is on the West Coast.
It is. It was very cold today. Actually, I'm wrapped in a blanket under my desk here because I'm not used to this chilly weather. But, you know, I was telling somebody else that today, that it's kind of interesting that we enjoy the things that we're not used to. We actually enjoy this cool weather, and I know you're all enjoying your warm weather.
Oh, we're loving it. This time last year, we had 3 snow days already, and it's something that you just said. We're really taking advantage of this December weather and getting outside and taking time to just enjoy the sunlight, because it's something that you typically don't do this time of year.
Yeah. So we hope to see you back again next week, every Monday, right here, same channel. And we'll have another little strategy session, just these, 20 to 30 minute sessions that will help you into understanding and being able to help you get your business on. So thanks again, and we will see you next time.